You know that feeling where you need to start working? You want to start working, but you just physically can't move. You sit there, frozen, watching the clock tick by. You look at the task, and it feels like a mountain. Eventually, you tell yourself the same lie you always do. I'm just being lazy. I have good news and bad news. The good news is, you are not lazy. Laziness is a choice. Laziness is enjoying doing nothing. What you are feeling is painful. It is resistance, and it is biological. The bad news is, your nervous system is currently stuck at the bottom of a massive biological spike called limbic friction. This is not a mindset issue. This is a leverage issue. Right now, your brain is like a car with the parking brake on. You are slamming your foot on the gas pedal. That's your willpower, but the car isn't moving. You are just burning out the engine. In this video, I'm going to show you how to release that brake in less than 90 seconds. But first, we have to figure out which brake is stuck. Because if you use the wrong key, you will just jam the lock tighter. Most productivity advice treats all procrastination the same. They tell you to just push through. But science tells us that resistance comes from two completely different places in the body. To fix this, we need to diagnose you right now. I want you to stop watching passively and check in with your body. Type A, the hypo-aroused state. Are your eyelids heavy? Is your breathing shallow? Do you feel like you are moving through mud? When you look at the screen, does your vision feel soft or blurry? This is the tired state. Your nervous system is underactive. You don't have enough fuel to climb the hill. Type B, the hyper-aroused state. Is your leg bouncing? Is your mind racing between 3 different tabs? Do you feel a tightness in your chest? Do you have the urge to clean the kitchen instead of writing the email? This is the anxious state. Your nervous system is overactive. You have too much energy, but it's scattered. This distinction is critical. If you are tired, you need to hit the gas. If you are wired, you need to hit the brake. If you mix these up, if you try to calm down when you're actually tired, you will fall asleep. If you try to hype yourself up when you're already anxious, you will spiral into a panic. So, lock in your answer. Are you wired or are you tired? Before we fix it, you need to understand exactly what limbic friction is, so you can stop blaming yourself for having it. Neuroscience defines limbic friction as the biological strain required to overcome internal resistance. It is the activation energy needed to engage your nervous system. Think of your brain as a dual processor system. Deep in the center, you have the basal ganglia. This part of the brain controls action loops. It has a go circuit, action, and a no-go circuit, suppression. When a habit is new or difficult, the no-go circuit is dominant to conserve energy. To override this, you need to engage the prefrontal cortex, the logical part of your brain, to force the switch from no-go to go. That struggle to flip the switch? That is limbic friction. It acts like a seesaw. Your autonomic nervous system swings between being alert, sympathetic, and calm, parasympathetic. Friction is highest when this seesaw is tilted too far in either direction. If you are too calm, you are lethargic. You can't generate the energy to move. If you are too alert, you are stressed. You are too distracted to focus. So, how do we level the seesaw? We don't use willpower, we use biology. Let's start with the most common problem, being wired. You identified as anxious or distracted. You are stuck in a loop of high friction because your system is firing out of fear. To override this, we need to manually slow down your heart rate. The fastest way to do this, faster than meditation, is the physiological sigh. This leverages the mechanics of your lungs to hack your nervous system. When you are stressed, the tiny air sacs in your lungs, alveoli, collapse like deflated balloons. Carbon dioxide builds up, signaling your brain to panic. To pop them open, you need a double inhale. The protocol. Inhale deeply through your nose. At the very top, sneak in a second, shorter inhale. Sniff, sniff. Then, exhale long and slow through your mouth. Do this 3 to 5 times. By extending the exhale, you engage the vagus nerve, acting as a physical brake pedal for your heart. You are dumping the excess CO2. You should feel your shoulders drop. You have just manually lowered the limbic friction spike. You cleared the noise so your prefrontal cortex can take the wheel. Now, let's flip the script. If you identified as type A, tired, if you feel heavy or unmotivated, the physiological sigh is the worst thing you can do. It will put you to sleep. Your system is too calm. To climb the limbic friction spike, we need to trigger the release of adrenaline, epinephrine. This provides the chemical fuel to move your body when you don't feel like it. The protocol for this is superoxygenation. Warning, you might feel tingling or get lightheaded. That is normal, it's the system waking up. But do not do this near water or while driving. The protocol. Sit up straight. Better yet, stand up. If you are sitting on the couch where you usually doom scroll, your brain has tagged that location for laziness. Get up. Take 25 deep, intense breaths in and out through the nose. Force the air in. Let it fall out. In, out. In, out. After the 25th breath, exhale all your air and hold with empty lungs for 15 to 30 seconds. Then inhale deeply and hold for 15 seconds. This process rapidly changes your blood chemistry. It simulates a mild stress response, but you are in control. It tricks your brain into a state of alertness. You have just turned the key in the ignition. You have leveled the seesaw from the bottom up. Now that you have the tools to override your state in the moment, let's talk about prevention. If you fight massive amounts of limbic friction every day, you might be fighting biology at the wrong time. Research suggests our ability to override the no-go circuits fluctuates based on our circadian rhythm. You should aim to perform your hardest habits during phase 1 of your day. Phase 1 is the window from 0 to 8 hours after you wake up. During this window, your brain naturally has higher levels of dopamine and norepinephrine. Your biology is naturally helping you push the boulder up the hill. If you wait until phase 2, 8 to 16 hours after waking, your serotonin rises and your adrenaline drops. Your body wants to wind down. If you try to start a high-friction habit at 7 p.m., you are fighting a double battle: the task and your own circadian clock. Schedule the friction for the morning. Save the afternoon for reflexive tasks. But there is a third scenario. What if you aren't tired and you aren't anxious? It's 9 a.m., phase 1, you've had your coffee, but you are still stuck. This is usually where people tell you to visualize your success. They tell you to imagine holding the trophy or seeing the bank account. Stop doing that. Science shows that visualizing the result actually hurts productivity. When you visualize the win, your brain releases a premature hit of dopamine. You trick your brain into thinking you've already done the work, so your drive to actually do it drops. To lower limbic friction, you need to use procedural memory visualization. You don't visualize the finish line, you visualize the starting line. You need to engage the neural circuits responsible for the sequence of steps required to perform the habit. The protocol. Close your eyes, do not picture the outcome. Visualize the specific sequence of steps required to start. Picture yourself standing up. Picture yourself walking to the desk. Picture your hand touching the mouse. Picture opening the document. That's it. By running this mental simulation, you are priming the basal ganglia. You are preloading the go circuit. When you open your eyes, your body will naturally want to follow the script you just wrote in your head, because the neural path of least resistance has just been paved. So, we have dismantled the myth of laziness. Laziness is a judgment. Limbic friction is data. It is a measurement of how deeply a habit is embedded in your nervous system. If a task requires massive top-down effort, it just means the habit is shallow. As you practice these overrides, the friction decreases. The behavior becomes reflexive. Here is your checklist for the next time you are stuck. Stop judging. Acknowledge that you are stuck on a limbic friction spike. Diagnose. Ask, am I wired or tired? Level the seesaw. If wired, use the physiological sigh. If tired, use superoxygenation. Check the clock. Are you in phase 1? Grease the gears. Run a procedural visualization of the first 60 seconds. The goal isn't to make the work easy. The goal is to make starting automatic.